Hello. Just working in VR. Wait, where did I just click? Oops. Stop by, say hi, ask questions. Is this any good? Is it useful? I would say yes to both. Let's see. Oh, now I see why it's been going out the way it has been. I need to update the settings in Restream before it actually posts. Let's see. No, that's not what I want. Cancel. Let's do this. Reddit news. So right now, I actually should be getting in and checking on my Azure database backup. So it looks like it finished. I need to make a copy of that. So I highly doubt me updating these titles will. Oh, yeah, it's not gonna. Oh, well. For next time, it'll update. Just have to make sure I remember to update those before I go live next time. See my bitrate. Bitrate is okay. Oh, it says your bitrate settings are out of recommended for Twitch and YouTube. Less than 3500 kbps. Ooh, that could actually maybe improve performance too. I'll change those settings for the next time. So that's gonna be, oh wait, I can't change them. Not while I'm streaming. Oh well. That is fine. Forgot to change my shirt too. Got no pants. So this seems to be running okay. But if it's not, it'd be great to hear feedback if it's not running well. Be nice as if this would let me just split this lower screen. But it's fine. This will work. This will work. So I can keep an eye on OBS, Immersed, Teams, Edge. I guess I do have Edge open. And I do wonder what would it look like if I did this. Close other tabs. Move this to this window. Screen. So I've got YouTube open over there. Let's see, my email here. Required training. So I'm gonna put that on my calendar. Something else I'm not sure about is whether or not chat messages show up.
Hi, I'm going to unbox this drone. It's this brand 012S model and show you all the accessories that come with it. Later, I'm going to show how to set it up. And then later, I'm going to show you actual flight footage. And I'll show you what the pictures and videos look like from this drone. The drone comes with several things. So here's the controller. Here's one battery that I've already installed. Here's an extra battery, extra propellers and tools and screws, a detailed instruction manual, a quick guide to the remote control, letting you know what the functions are, and this case right here. So I've turned this on. I have full power. Hit the button once, long press 5 seconds. So that's on. Now I'm going to long press this, the camera button. Okay. Now I'm going to rotate. Okay. Now I'm going to have the camera face down. Rotate. Great. I have to hit this speed button for 5 seconds. And now it's going to start looking for GPS signals. And when I get to at least 8, this should move to mode 2 and I should be ready to fly. You can see it just caught at least 8 and it went to mode 2. I need to like pair this actually. So I'm going to go to Wi-Fi, XIL GPS. I'm going to connect to that. Okay, that's connected. I'm going to go back to this app. And now it shows you an image from the camera itself. Okay, and now I just got to move these either in or out and then launch. Okay, I press the automatic
So
launch
far, it
and you can
seems to be
see
working pretty well.
that it hovers right there.
I can watch a video over here. I've got my
Left, right,
main screen
forward,
here, my email
back,
and work and
rotate,
stuff, and then I've got monitoring of
down,
activities over here.
up, camera mode, took a picture. So let me go all the way up and see what happens, okay? I won't go too high up as I'm going to do the buttons. So I'm aiming down a little bit. Do video mode. So now it's on video mode. I'm going to go a little higher. And come back down.
Only bad thing is I did lower the resolution of that screen over there, so it is not the
Very
best
smooth
quality.
flight, very stable. The height is consistent as well. Now
Okay, so my backup is done. Let's see.
you can see the
Product copy.
horizon.
And then this, what I have to do is
I'm gonna aim down a little bit, and there I am right here. You can see me right here.
To remove data sync metadata objects.
Real-time view. Just gonna rotate. You can kind of see the lay of the land.
Oh, yeah,
Let me
this
aim the
is
camera up,
script. I need to get this script.
so the camera is aiming higher.
Yes, okay. I need to go to the database.
There we go.
Bring up desktop.
Go a little higher up. And if I lose signal, this will come back automatically because I have the GPS settings. And there you see the horizon right there. Let's kind of rotate. Oh, there it is. The sun is setting. Look how pretty that looks. And I would have to stop the video, but now I can take a picture. And there it is. Now this is the bottom facing camera. And this is the front facing camera right there. You can also zoom up to 50x if you'd like. And then you can go here.
Oh, yeah.
There are other options here. I'm gonna hit the speed button. It's on high speed.
Fingerprint.
Wow, it's pretty fast. Very smooth. So now I'm gonna try to land this by pressing this one touch land button. I think the dogs are distracted enough. So here it comes. So it's landing pretty much where I started. And there it goes, it lands and it shuts off. And that's it, we're ready to go. Here come some doggies. So here's a closer look at the drone. It's got some really nice cool lights. It's got the headlights, the green, the red, really high quality. You see there's the bottom camera right there. Really good ventilation. This camera is gimbaled, so stabilized. Make sure you don't touch that when you're turning it on. And there's the real-time battery indicator right there.
That's a pretty
All right,
cool
thanks
drone.
for watching. Hopefully you found this helpful.
Welcome aboard the Disney Bundle, where Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus come to life. To your left is Heroes Lane.
My daughters tried the new home theater last night, and the reviews are in. It's freaking awesome. Jake, check it out. I mounted the projector by putting it on a subwoofer box on top of one of the chairs. I've got a laptop here with the best movie content and the best laptop speaker system. And I got around the power outlet and Ethernet jack in the middle of the wall.
Hi, I'm going to unbox this
John, sorry, I
drone.
forgot to like your video.
It's this brand
there we
012S
go.
model and show you
I'm very
all
curious
the
the price
accessories
of this
that come
drone,
with it.
though. Let's see.
Later, I'm going to show how to set it up. And then later, I'm going to
Wow.
show you actual flight footage.
270
And I'll show you
bucks.
what the
That's
pictures and videos
awfully
look
cheap,
like from this
actually.
drone. The drone comes with several things.
Everything
So
you
here's
get
the
in there.
controller.
Huh.
Here's one battery that I've already
Nice.
installed. Here's an extra battery, extra propellers and tools and screws, a detailed instruction manual, a quick guide to the remote control letting you know what the functions are, and this case right here. So I've turned this on. I have full power. Hit the button.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the garage. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all crushing life. Now, I've been a bit neglectful, I gotta be honest. The Shelby, we haven't done enough stuff with the Shelby. Remember, 827 wheel horsepower with the Whipple supercharge and ultimate headers. It's a beast. Bigger mention here, the Hellcat. We're finally making the number one mod you gotta do when you get a 717 horsepower Hellcat. We're doing that today, I hope.
You know, it actually
do a
probably
sick
save a
burnout?
lot
I
of
don't think the neighborhood
resources
can handle
is
it,
if
but
I did
okay.
more work on the VM. Although I can't
It smells
use-
like burnt rubber, baby.
Drop a gear and disappear, am I right?
That's right. We got new street and new rubber. Check this out. The Corsa Extreme
What equipment I
catback
use, actually?
exhaust. It arrived. We're going to get
Probably
this
could
baby
use
installed.
everything on the remote.
Let's go.
Remote desktop.
Oh, you didn't see that. If it's broke, it was FedEx, not me.
There's this script
Now,
thing.
before we install that baby, we got to get a baseline test on the
So,
Hellcat. What better way to get a baseline exhaust test than to do donuts? We haven't done donuts in this channel in a long time. It's time to make it happen. And what better way to film donuts than by using Insta360 One X2? And I'm excited to say today's video is sponsored by Insta360. This camera is super sick, super easy
Why
to
is
use,
it
and
not
super
selecting
versatile. For
Control
example,
A?
right now, we're gonna go get the chase
Give me
behind
this.
shot.
We've got the
Keyboards here.
360 camera 1X2 attached here to the car.
keyboard.
All we got to do, extend, and we're good to go. And this is an invisible selfie stick. I know you
mouse.
can see it right now, but you won't in the video. So it's going to look
Oh,
like we're
yeah.
being chased by a drone or a helicopter. You get a sick perspective while we're doing those spinny thingies. Just hit the power button and she is good to go. Let's go, baby. We hit SRT, baby. We're gonna go into custom for now, get her warmed up still. But as you can see, we're
where's
still
my
gonna get
database?
717
Oh,
horsepower.
there it
This is
is.
just
Okay.
not donut mode.
So,
Okay,
do
we've
query
arrived.
on that
Remember, I've never done
DB.
donuts in the Hellcat
Run
before. It's
this.
also an automatic, so totally different than the
gonna
GT350.
work.
So
It
be kind. This is my
worked.
first attempt.
Okay,
Let's give it a go. So from what I
close
understand, you
that.
put it in track mode. Bam. And then you hold the
Come back
traction
from the
control off
VM.
for like 5 seconds until
Yeah.
something happens, maybe.
Now,
Yeah, look at that. Now we're good to go.
back
And
over
traction
here.
off. So no excuses. All right, we got left foot on the brake, right foot ready to go. We're gonna throw it into drive. We got the camera. Check this out. We can get any angle we want. That's so cool. We're gonna hit record, and we're
Here we
rolling.
go. Export. Choose the right subscription. Went through this yesterday a few times. Select storage. Prod.
Okay.
See if we'll serve her off.
Ooh, yes. All right, we're gonna leave. That was sick. I formally apologize to all of you and myself for not doing more donuts on this channel. That was a lot of fun. Clearly I'm lousy at it. Those were terrible donuts. I'm sorry about that, but I have a feeling the exhaust install is gonna help me be better at donuts. So post exhaust install round 2 donuts. We're bringing it back. Casey, help me out. Let's go.
That's the right password. Okay.
I don't know why I thought it would fit, but clearly it doesn't. I think we're gonna risk it. Hope we don't see any cops. Sorry, Casey, I'm late. I do want to
Okay,
hold for
important.
y'all to
Okay,
hear the
now
stock
it's-
exhaust one more
seems
time.
to be
But as you can
40.
see, I mean, the trunk is still open. We're just
That
gonna
keyboard
take
off.
it easy, get to our destination with the package.
The
Hopefully
magic
not
keyboard back.
Oh, look at this! I'm carrying the whole box in one hand.
Pretty much
It's
I
incredible.
do kind of wish
Oh, okay,
that I
okay,
could
so-
get
Welcome
this
back to
view.
the channel. Welcome back to I
How
don't
could I
know
get
what we
that
call this
view?
place anymore, but
James's dealership.
you live here.
I basically
Second home.
do, yeah.
You've worked on that car, that car, that car, that.
Ooh,
all the
actually, I
cars.
know how
You
to
built
get
the
this
NASCAR
view,
by hand. Professional
but
right there, folks.
probably
That is a
used
professional.
all my resources.
Straight on, baby.
So I think
Straight on. All right, last time ever, stock exhaust on the Hellcat, baby. This is it.
I don't think I have.
Juice.
What is it?
It sounds good. It's like baritone is low. It's like
Southwest.
has a purpose, but we need more. And this is the man to give us more. He's
Yeah,
doing
I
all the
have
work. I'm gonna
Southwest
go
installed on
sit
here, and I
over
don't
there
want
in
to
one of the
install
cars
on
and
here.
just
Supervisor.
So I can do
Right.
Most
productive.
important person
right.
here.
And he already tore it open.
No, I didn't. What are you
Huge.
talking about?
Oh, open it. See what it sounds like. Yeah, we're not gonna make a mess. This is not my home. We're gonna be respectful. We're gonna just.
Oh.
Ooh, that's what we wanted to see. These are the black Quad Tips Corsa exhaust. Oh, yeah, pure aluminum, titanium, vibranium. It weighs like 5 pounds. And as you can see, the stock exhaust tips, it's a quad, it's a single. So I do like the look of the square, but we're gonna get quad instead. All right, so this is how it's gonna go. This whole pipe here is gonna be taken off, be removed, and we're gonna put the other one on. And when I say we, Casey's gonna do that. Now, I also gotta mention, Casey is a gentleman because he raised it high enough for me to walk freely under here. But for him, he does have to reach a little bit. He's an average, normal, he's a tall guy, a lot of muscles. The question, Casey, before you raise it, do we start it up and see what it sounds like?
Yeah.
So this is gonna be right here. This is what it sounds like with no exhaust. Let's go back though, because yeah, I think it's gonna sound awesome.
You ready?
And we don't even put the new exhaust on. Let's hit it, baby. Okay, that was. Huh. Let's get it some juice. Give me more, baby. Okay. It's weird because at idle, it's not really anything different. I wasn't that impressed.
Yeah.
Like when we cut the exhaust off the smart car, night and day, smart car, amazing. This was like, yeah, it was good, but
Still pretty loud.
yeah. Also, Casey, that guy right there, he's gonna help me buy wheels for the wide body kit. Step 1, piece 1. You can say it, you need help.
I do need help. Oh,
Just like
look at
that?
that.
I got it. It doesn't fit. This is why I never work on my own cars, because we have to cut the exhaust. Casey, he lives in a supercar world. He's not used to the more low budget American muscle type world that we live in. He's not used to having to cut the old exhaust to put that on the new exhaust to make it fit, but that's what we got to do. So we got to cut the old exhaust now behind schedule. Not because of Casey, because I didn't tell him what world I'm in. All right, he cut those bits in literally record time. If you guys recall, when I did the Raptor exhaust install a year or so ago, it literally took me 8 days. Look at that, we got some fresh steel, fresh metal. Casey's looking good in the 360 mode. For sure, this is cool. This is gonna sound, I mean, I hope it sounds incredible. We really don't know.
We're crossing
You
our
know?
fingers here.
I
I know.
know.
I've never heard one with the Corsa.
If it
exhaust,
sounds bad, can we just reverse everything?
Well, we already cut your exhaust, so we can't. There's no going back.
There's no going back. We are committed. It's happening. Bring her down. She's ready to go. She's ready to make some noise. check these babies out. Say Corsa again. These are super clean. I like the way they look. Casey's excited to go home and make dinner, so he wants a startup. So we're gonna start it up. All right. No messing around. Let's go. Let's hear it. Oh yeah. Just the startup is so just like. Oh, okay. That. Let's run it back. Casey, thanks again.
Yeah.
That would have taken me literally 7 days. I would have been better than the Raptor.
I would have given you like 4 days. I bet you could have done it.
I appreciate that. We're running home so we can set up the shot, do some polls, do some donuts, and enjoy the exhaust the right way. So we're coasting home. It can take about 45 minutes, but we're going to get there. I want to hear it the same time you guys do when we hit, what, 5,400 RPMs. All right, so we're going to go get some 6 shots and listen to this Corsa exhaust. But before we do, I got to remind everyone and thank Insta360 for sponsoring this video. Make sure you hit the link below. They're offering 10% off the Insta360 One X2 only through June 4th. So you got to hit the link. This thing is sick. It's got 5.7K resolution, flow state stabilization. This stuff is smooth as butter, and 360 reframing, which means it's got dual lenses. So you can just film and worry about what angle you want later. So you film, and while you're editing, you can scroll around and pick the shot you want. Also, super easy to get all sorts of 6 shots. You screw on the invisible selfie stick. We got the suction cup, baby. This thing is not going anywhere. You secure her down, good to go. Attach there. 10% off by June 4th. And this is just one of the cool ways to get shots. Bam. That shot is gonna be sick. It's gonna be like a drone is chasing us. So make sure you hit the link below, Insta360 One X2. All right, Corsa, let's hear what you got. 717 horsepower and an invisible selfie stick. Let's go, baby. This is so cool. Start her up. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of like that the startup is not totally insane like my Shelby. That means I can still take this to the gym in the morning. So that's a good start, but I hope it gets insane. All right, baby, sport mode, here we go.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life.
What if you could get rid of your kitchen garbage at the push of a button? Hey,
Which
I'm
ones
Matt
are
from
pending
Pila, and
then?
I want to introduce you to my friend Lomi.
Pending download.
At
Which
Pila,
one are
we're a
they?
team of
Let's
engineers
see.
and material scientists, and we believe that waste can be designed
They
out of your daily
are
life. For the last 3 years, we've been
admin
creating something
copy.
truly special, a solution to the world's garbage problem.
Pre-prod.
Now, before I
Admin
show
copy.
you how Lomi's going
Pre-prod.
to change the
Admin
world,
copy.
let's talk about why you're going to want one in your home.
Admin
Maybe you live in a big
copy.
city and have a green bin program. You know, those pesky little plastic bins with leaky bags under your sink that are amazing at producing that smelly, gross liquid sludge. Raccoons, anybody? Or maybe you don't have a green bin system where you live, and instead you throw all your food waste into the garbage, which then goes to landfill, which produces methane, which causes climate change, all while still smelling pretty
Oh,
terrible.
that's right. I had to go
Lomi makes your life
to.
so much easier. Lomi can compost your food waste,
storage?
that pesky packaging
Yeah.
from your online shopping, even compostable plastics.
I had to
all
go to
at
the
push
blob
of a
storage.
button.
That's right.
You probably know us as the inventors of the world's first compostable phone case.
FCT.
You may have even seen our Lomi campaign on Indiegogo, where we sold more than 20,000 units, raised $7 million, and became the most successful crowdfunding campaign of 2021. Pila customers have eliminated
You guys
more
had
than
to search for it.
41.8 million plastic bags worth of garbage in the last 4 years. Those 20,000 Lomis I was talking about, they're going to have even more benefit, preventing 1 million pounds of coal from being burnt. We're just getting started. We want to get a
Here?
Lomi in every home and prevent more than 1 billion pounds of waste from going to landfill. To create Lomi, we've spent more than
Open and
30 years
explore.
completing 1,000 compost tests, probably more, and endless hours of product design and
I don't think
prototyping.
so.
Lomi isn't just beautifully designed. We created
Containers.
something never seen before. An elegant home
Okay.
appliance that takes care of
This-
your garbage so you don't have to, giving you back time to do things
Here
you
we
actually
go.
enjoy. Food waste
62
creates 300
megs, so
billion
let's go
pounds
ahead
of
and
garbage
download that.
every year. Packaging
Download.
and plastic, add that on top, which makes the number even higher. Lomi makes home food waste a thing of the past and
Save
cuts your
as.
carbon footprint up to half. All while
Admin
making
copy.
odor-neutralized, mess-free dirt that you can feed your
And
plants,
then-
toss in your garden, throw it in your green bin, and if you have to, throw it in your garbage. Together, we can do something that
Pre-prod.
politicians and big businesses can't seem to take any action
This
on,
one.
actually helping the planet.
I think that's
You can
right.
make trash a thing of the past. Click below to reserve your Lomi now and join the movement.
Yes, pre-prod and reporting. So download this one.
Hi everyone, Mark Barden here at Sandy Hook Promise. On December 14th, 2012, My 7-year-old son Daniel was shot to death in his first grade classroom at Sandy Hook Elementary School. The shooter shot and killed 26 individuals in about.
Have no shame, there's no time for the pain. Live the grind, I can change.
All right, here we go again. Track mode off. Hit that button. Traction control is going to go off. And you guys are, yes, you're in the middle of danger. You can tell. Yeah, that's you. You might want to hold on tight.
Recording. Yeah. Save that. Yes.
I
Back,
told
back.
you, you might not be safe there and
watch
inches,
those.
but we're good. Now we gotta run. All right, y'all have been so patient for waiting this long. That's a good start, but I hope it
watch
gets
this
the same. All right,
360
baby,
video.
sport mode. Here we go.
Never break, always fight, never quit.
Nice.
Do it right, play the game, win it life. Have no shame, there's no time for the pain. Live the grind, I can change.
All right, here we go again. Track mode off. Hit that button. Traction control is going to go off. And you guys are, yes, you're in the middle of danger. You can tell. Yeah, that's you. You might want to hold on tight. I told you, you might not be safe there and inches, but we're good. Now we gotta run. All right, y'all have been so patient for
So
waiting
is
this
that
long. We're gonna get
recorded
some
on
some true
1 inch
revs right here.
still?
You can hear the idle.
I
It's
would
just a little,
really like
it's
to
a
know.
little more vibrant than the stock exhaust, which is good. So let's get some proper slam a jammin' rev.
Ooh, actually, that's what I should do. I should put that screen on the stream.
I think that's proper sick for just a basic exhaust mod install. It changes just the energy of the car. Also,
Let's see,
interesting
how long does it
fact,
take to do
when
that?
you're revving a Hellcat Challenger just kind of sitting there, I couldn't rev it all the way to like 5,000, 5,200 RPM. It redlines at 54. It was like maxing out at 4,000 RPM, which is, I'm sure, a thing. I just haven't, I never researched that. I mean, whatever. So that was 4,000 RPM. Sounds good. I just like how it's just so much raspier too. I love just that violent, deep American muscle, baby. American muscle.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
think
so
what I
the
want to
exhaust
add
is
is
not
a
totally mental.
window-
It's not totally
window
insane
capture, right?
like some other cars, but I think
Add
that's a good
source.
thing because I still need a car I can take to the gym in the morning. The Shelby, I can't start it up at
that
6
works.
a.m.
Okay, window
The Bentley,
capture.
I'm not taking that to the gym because, frankly, I'm disgusting after the gym.
Go
I'm
on.
not getting that mess in the Bentley. The
That
Raptor
could
is
be
surprisingly pretty
here,
loud,
I
and my
think.
wife's car, the last thing she needs is me to muck up her own car. So the Hellcat, the exhaust is perfect right now, in my opinion. It's wild when you're pushing it, but it's still soft for a startup. So that's good. But the question is, when we wide body the Hellcat, which yes, we're still going to do that, do we take the exhaust to another level at that point? Because a wide body Hellcat, maybe,
This
I
was
mean,
already in
it
there?
should be mental in my opinion. So let me know what your thoughts
The-
are.
the
Do we
remove.
up the exhaust game, or is it perfect? Not everyone likes an exhaust to be
Remove
the
that
most
one.
obnoxious thing on the road. But I do want to emphasize, you guys saw Casey in today's video. He's the man. He's gonna wide body this baby, and we sat down and we talked and was like, okay, let's make it happen. We had the wheel issue. We're still, Casey's gonna help me figure out the wheels. And on that exciting, hopeful, optimistic view of life, I wish you all the best of luck. Make sure you go crush it. Peace.
I will run away. I don't have to plan it. I can go change my.
Hey, wait, what happened? Okay, there we go. Yeah. Now you got something to watch with me. Downloads are happening. Let's see. Oh, we got an issue.
Google Fi, a phone plan by Google.
Moment ago.
Save big on Samsung Galaxy A series. With more options than ever to get the features you love. At a price that fits your
Stream
budget.
is having issues.
Join Fi and save today.
And I'll watch that. Where's my mouse?
This is what happens when you buy a BMW and you want to drive it like Tyler does. You end up broken at the side of the road, asking your friends for help for free.
You ring the code? We begin with the weight test. 256, 512, 1024. I only deliver the best. Now it's time to run the purity test. Wait a second, 100% code coverage? Where did you get this code? I coded that myself. My friend, we are gonna be very rich together. Did you bring the payment? Is that it? We'll be in touch. You bring the code? We begin with the weight test. 256, 512, 1024. I only deliver the best. Now it's time to run the purity test. Wait a second, 100% code coverage? Where did you get this code? I coded that.
So many times when people are learning how to code, one of the things that often comes up is the type of work that they want to do. A lot of people are learning how to code to get a job, and that job could be freelance or it could be a 9-to-5. In this video, I want to talk about some of the differences and the perks and pros and cons of each one compared to the other. Before we get into this video, make sure you hit that like button. It'll help me out a lot with the YouTube algorithm. All right, let's get started. Getting a 9-to-5 job as a developer can be a little bit more difficult. You need to have experience, you need to have stuff that you can prove to an employer that you are capable of doing the job. There's more hoops to jump through, there's more of an interview process, and just overall, it's a little bit more work to get that first full-time 9-to-5 job. Now, when it comes to freelancing can be a little bit easier for you to get those first few clients. The problem is that you might be doing a lot of free work, or you might not make a lot of money with those first few jobs as you're trying to build your portfolio with freelancing clients.
It's a nice monitor.
But there is less crap that you have to deal with in that sense. You don't have to interview as much. You don't have to deal with all the corporate stuff that goes into getting a 9-to-5 job. But you still have to pitch to clients. You still have to apply to gigs on Upwork, or you need to go out and find clients locally until you can build up enough clients to then look like a professional freelancer. So while a 9-to-5 job might have more of the corporate nonsense and the whole interviewing process for a software developer, you still have to do a lot of work in order to get jobs as a freelancer. Let's talk about making money. With a 9-to-5, you're guaranteed steady income, right? I mean, as guaranteed as you can be. You could lose your job tomorrow, the economy's crashing, and tech companies are just firing everybody left and right now. But in theory, a 9-to-5 5 is steady income. Many developer jobs often offer really good benefits. You're going to have health insurance. You're likely going to have a retirement plan. You're going to have life insurance. You're going to have some PTO, and you're going to have all the perks that come with those golden handcuffs when you're working a 9 to 5. And honestly, it's really nice. It's stable. If all you want is to do your job and get paid for it, and you want the stability of a 9 to 5, that steady pay and those benefits are there. Now with freelancing, on the other hand, when it comes to making money as a freelancer, it's complete on this.
Get your products in front of potential customers using Shopify's social media and marketplace integrations. Users can discover, shop, and buy your products directly from Instagram, Facebook, Amazon, and eBay. No matter where you sell, everything will be conveniently tracked and managed from a single dashboard. Shopify is the only platform you need to sell your products to anyone, anywhere. Head over to Shopify.com and sign up for your free trial today.
Why doesn't every home in the US have solar panels? The reason is not about sunlight or weather or even politics. It's actually just because most people don't know about the new Biden policy that allows homeowners to get paid to install the newest solar technology. People just assume they have to spend thousands of dollars to buy the panels and thousands more to get technicians to install them. But the truth is that you can now get paid thousands of dollars to get the newest generation of solar panels and a Tesla Powerwall, and you don't pay for any of the installation. And once you have it, you have complete energy freedom. You generate your own power, so you could have a monthly power bill of $0. And this freedom also means protection from the unreliable power grid. We saw what happened in Texas when winter storms cut power to millions of homes. These weather events seem to be happening everywhere. But by creating your own power, you won't need the grid for your lights to stay on. It's incredibly easy to find out if your home is eligible for a solar upgrade. It'll give you energy freedom and control of your own power supply. You just click the link, answer a few simple questions, and in 30 seconds you'll have your answer. Just click and find out.
It can be feast or famine, especially when you're first getting started. You may have some clients one month that need a bunch of work done, and you'll make tens of thousands of dollars, and then the next month you might not make anything. Once you've established some clientele and you're getting more steady work, your income can become more stable as a freelancer, but it's just not the same as having that steady 9 to 5 paycheck, so that's something that you need to keep in mind. So while we're on the topic of income, let's talk about how much money you can make. Now, when it comes to working a 9 to 5, even though software developers make really good money, there is always going to be a ceiling. If you've been doing this for a few years, that dollar amount is going to be pretty high. Generally, an experienced software developer is going to make 6 figures a year. But there is a cap and there is a ceiling, and at a certain point, you're going to pretty much make as much as you can possibly make. Yes, this point comes when you have like 10 years experience, but eventually you're going to get to a spot where you can't really make much more than what you're already making. Now, on the flip side with freelancing, technically that ceiling is removed, and really you can make as much money as you can make because you can take on different jobs, and now you're not getting paid for your time. With freelancing, you're exchanging your services and what you can provide a client for money. And the thought of an hourly rate, while it is incorporated into what you might charge someone, doesn't necessarily mean that that's what you're going to make. You may make a lot more. You may take a job that's $5,000 and takes you a couple days to complete. It's really pretty much up to you how quick you can get a job done. And once you have freelance clients that are paying you well for your services, you could make a lot of money. And eventually, if you're a good enough freelancer and you get enough clients, you could potentially create an agency where you have other developers that work for you, and you take on more and more work and you scale up, and then, like I said, your ceiling is removed. The thing is, it's hard to get there. And while there are a lot of freelancers that make it there, it's not necessarily the case for everyone who sets out to become a freelancer. All right, now that we've kind of covered the income and what you can make and earning potential, let's talk about the flexibility when it comes to choosing where you work and working from home. Now, there are a lot of jobs and a lot of companies that offer remote work. We've seen in the last few years that almost every software developer job went remote, and now we're seeing that a lot of companies are trying to drag people back into the office. If you don't have a remote job and you're working a 9 to 5, chances are you're going to be in a cubicle. in some big building. And those buildings are sometimes really nice. And sometimes they offer a lot of perks to make the building more appealing. But at the end of the day, no matter how fancy the building is, a fancy cube is still just a cube, and you're still going to be sitting under fluorescent lights staring at your screen in some corporate office, no matter how nice it looks. Now, as a freelancer, freelancing, you're your own boss. You have a laptop and an internet connection, and you can work from anywhere in the world. All right, let's talk about hours and working a 9 to 5. Even if you're 100% remote, most jobs don't offer the flexibility of working whenever you want. You're usually going to have to be online during business hours. And yes, there are a lot of companies that offer flexible schedules, but most of the time those flexible schedules are actually a little bit more rigid than they are flexible. They're not going to just let you log on at midnight and get your work done overnight and, log off at 6 a.m. You're never going to have a truly flexible schedule because most of the time you're going to have to be online during business hours at specific times. For the most part, you do have a lot more flexibility with your schedule as a freelancer. Based off of, where your clients are at, you're still going to have to be sure that you're able to communicate with them if you need to during their business hours. But you could just roll out of bed at, noon and jump on your laptop and talk to them and then go back to sleep and continue working in the evening if you want, because unlike a 9 to 5, you don't have to be there 9 to 5. You just need to get the job done. And one more thing about hours and schedules when it comes to a 9 to 5. As a software developer, you're more than likely going to be in a salary position. But regardless of whether or not you're getting paid hourly or yearly, the thing is that you're pretty much going to have to work those 40 hours a week. And yes, salary positions sometimes have to work a little bit more, and sometimes we get away with working a little bit less. But generally speaking, you need to be logged in or in your cube for that block of time every day, 5 days a week for the rest of your life. Now, when it comes to freelancing, you're probably going to be working more than 40 hours a week, especially when you're first getting started, especially when you're building up that clientele, and you're going to take on as much work as you can. You're always on the clock. If a client reaches out to you, you're going to answer that call. When you work a 9 to 5, if your boss calls you after hours, you don't really have to answer it. Most people feel like they do, but I am one of those people who believes that when I'm off the clock, unless I am getting paid to be on call, I am not taking a call from my boss. When you're a freelancer, that's out the window. And then the last thing I want to talk about is when you work a 9 to 5, you're going to be dealing with corporate bullshit. If you work at a small company or a small agency, you may not have to deal with that, but you're always going to have someone to answer to. You're always going to have a boss, or your boss is going to have a boss that has a boss, and they're all going to shit on each other until it lands on you. And that's just how it is in corporate America. So don't be fooled by the cool office and the cool, fun, hipster boss that you may have. At the end of the day, shit needs to get done. You're going to have to deal with all the bureaucracy and the red tape and just the everything that sucks about working a job. On the flip side of that, you have freelancers, right? Freelancers are their own boss. They, the world is their oyster. They don't have to deal with any of the corporate America bullshit, right? Not true. Freelancers, they have bosses. It's their clients. And you don't have that buffer that you have in a 9 to 5 where you deal with your manager and then your manager deals with his manager and it just goes up that ladder. When you're dealing with a client directly, you are the one that has to deal with the client. And while there are some clients that can be good and pretty chill, you're going to be dealing with nightmare clients. And yes, everybody's going to sell you the dream that if you're a freelancer, you get to pick and choose your clients and you get to tell them to go to hell if you don't like them, and you don't have to work for anybody that you don't want to work for. And that's the beauty of being a freelancer. But the truth is, at the end of the day, you need to make money. You need to put food on the table. And if you're at a point where you're just getting started, or you're not going to make enough money for that month and you have to take on a client that's going to be a headache, you have to deal with that client. So you still have a boss. And when things go wrong, you're more than likely going to be the one that has to handle it. And it could be a headache. All right. And that's pretty much it. Those are the pros and cons and the comparisons between freelancing and the 9 to 5 life. They both have their benefits. If you want the stability and you want that steady paycheck and that's all you want to do, you just want to go to work and go home and not have to deal with anything else after work, and you can find the job that provides that, then go for it. But again, if you want to go go full-time freelancing and you want that freelancing life and you want to be able to be your own boss and you want to be able to maybe grow a business one day, that's also an option, but there are things to consider on that end too. At the end of the day, figure out what it is you want to do with learning how to code, figure out what it is you want to do as a software developer and what you want from it, and try them out. There's options. If you know how to code, you can do a lot of things. You don't have to pick one or the other. Give them both a shot and see what you want. All right, with all that said, I hope this information was helpful. If it was, make sure you hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.
With U.S. Bank Business Essentials, you can accept payments wherever you do business, in-store, online, or on the go, with no big hardware or software fees. And with a U.S. Bank checking account, you can increase your cash flow and cover your expenses faster by receiving deposits within hours, 7 days a week. We provide better business payment solutions so you can focus on the future. Visit usbank.com/business to learn more.
$1,200, $5,000, and this one is
Brotherissimo, but brat.
Broissimo.
Broissimo.
Not
Okay,
bread.
but I just
Call
did
me bread.
I just did English and Russian together. Bratissimo.
No, what you did was nothing. You call me bread roll.
Look in your mirror.
What's a mirror?
Look in the mirror.
Fuck.
Yeah, you already pisses
Can we
me
start?
off.
You're already annoying me.
Squad. Well,
Hi.
welcome. And by the way, thank you so much for joining Saturday premiere and all this awesomeness and you two being drunk and people can see and people cannot see, but
it's awesome.
Thank you for joining. Thank you for liking, sharing, and giving so much love to our brothers in India, Messi and Johnny.
Zach, may the chaos commence. I like it. And that's accurate. Chris Hansen, thank you
Chris
so much.
Hansen,
2 years. Freaking awesome, man. Thank you, brother.
Thank you for staying awesome.
What are we doing? What are we doing? We updated our calendar this morning, so got a couple things shuffled around. I got some meetings this week, different things, but streaming today, streaming tomorrow, doing a much earlier stream tomorrow, and then we'll be back on Friday for a big week closeout, and I'm already putting this out there now. It's going to be Dexter's Domination Week. I'm going to win all 3 of the public streams today.
The last time I checked, you were thrown up on Friday from losing globally.
This is Monday.
It's
so
Monday.
What's your
yeah.
problem? Joel Bentner, hello guys.
Thank
Thank you for your service. No, thank you for service of people that deserve that recognition.
Happy Memorial
today
Day
and every day.
If you're in America, we're celebrating and
If you're a Washington homeowner, 2022 is your last chance to go solar. In December of 2020, Congress passed an extension to the Solar Investment Credit, which pays homeowners an average of $9,800 to install solar panels. See how much you can be paid for going solar by taking the Go Solar quiz below. Time for a secret. The Solar Investment Credit is the reason so many of your neighbors have gone solar, and it expires this year. Not all homes qualify, so click on the link below and take the 30-second solar quiz. This quiz will verify if your home is eligible. In addition to the Solar Investment Credit, utility companies also offer a credit for any extra energy your panels produce. Because the government and your utility company both offer different green energy incentives, it's almost impossible to understand which ones are applicable to you. Click the link below, take the 30-second solar quiz, and find out exactly what's available at your home.
Your home internet is going ultra. Introducing Verizon 5G Home. See ya, cable. With 5G Home, you get blazing fast 5G ultra-wideband internet to power your entire home.
I'm ordering pizza.
Yeah, I could eat.
What's our new address?
I don't know. Set it up yourself in just minutes. No drama. And look here, 5G Home is 50% off with your unlimited plan. Just $25 a month, no contracts, no hidden fees. What do you say to that? Shh, right, you enjoy that internet. Verizon is going ultra with home internet at our best price.
The upload is almost done. Well, second of 3 uploads, so getting close. 8.87 gigs. Done. Okay. Copyrighted.
When I found out that Google was doing career certificates and they had one in data analytics, I thought it seems like an easy choice. After completing the program, I was familiar with all the tools of the trade, and I'm happy.
Storage.
What is Outplay? You play and it records. You can choose exactly what you want it to record, whether it be kills, assists, deaths, wins, just the action, which saves you a lot of recording space. And it's all neatly organized, which saves you time too. The list of games is huge. Just to mention a few, it works with games like Valorant, Apex, Splitgate, Rocket League, Dota 2, the list goes on. You can record the whole session or match, so you have that option too. There's an inbuilt editor so you can make quick clips and share them directly to social media or Discord friends. And you know what's even more convenient? You can do all of this while you're still in the game. I can't find a reason not to use this. You can download Outplayed for free.
It is so hard to find the perfect romantic gift.
Might be a little overwhelming.
But then I found 1-800-Flowers.com, and that changed the game. Y'all, look at this box. Wow. These are gonna wow.
She's literally gonna go nuts over these.
These are gonna make him smile. You can easily add extras like chocolates. Try some.
She's definitely gonna notice that one's missing.
1-800-Flowers.com.
1-800-Flowers.com, you guys.
I've done well. Oh yeah. 1-800-Flowers.com, guaranteed to wow.
Hey everyone, Kyle Erickson here. About 6 months ago, I sold my old 4K monitor and I picked up an ultra-wide. Something I think has been a pretty common theme for a lot of folks over the last year or two. I was looking around locally and at reviews online, and what I ended up settling on was this. The Gigabyte G34WQC 34-inch curved ultra-wide monitor. This has a 144Hz refresh rate, it supports HDR10 and variable refresh rates, has a 3440x1440 resolution, so pretty standard for an ultra-wide, and overall it had everything that I was looking for. I originally started shopping for an ultra-wide because I thought it would be better for video editing and productivity. When you're editing videos, you get a nice big timeline, and when you're doing other tasks like software development, you can essentially use this in the same way that you would a dual monitor setup, where you have one editor on one side and a browser or an emulator or whatever platform display on the other. Having that dual monitor-like setup in one single package is really nice, and with a curved display, it almost feels like you're sitting at a command center. Everything sort of curves around you, and that's one thing that I absolutely love about having one of these. It also has great colors and a great contrast ratio, and it handles reflections very good. So at this stage you might be wondering, what's not to like? Well, it's not just one thing, but a bunch of smaller things. Some of these issues are going to be related to just this model in particular, and some are going to be just some general things to look out for in ultra-wides, especially curved panels. The first thing that I miss about having a 4K is the pixel density, which I think isn't probably surprising. As I said earlier, this is a 3440x1440 panel, where a 4K display is 3840x2160. I didn't think I would notice as much as I have, but having worked on higher density screens over the years, whether that be 4K or Retina displays, I do find that the edges around things like text and UI pretty jagged on the ultra-wide. I was expecting this moving to a lesser resolution, and if that was the only thing that I was sacrificing, I don't know that it would be that big of a deal. But also, having an ultra-wide ratio like this, one thing that you really notice is almost all of our content is built for a 16:9 aspect ratio. Sure, you do have some games that can run on this 21:9 ratio, and there are some movies and content which will look really good if they use a full width of this display. But if you're not doing a ton of gaming, which, by the way, is probably the ideal use case for this, where you're able to use the full width, it quickly becomes evident that 16:9 is still what we're building most things for. Full screening most media will usually result in black bars along the sides, but sometimes if the video is positioned a certain way in the code, if you're looking at things in a browser, it will actually use the full width, but it will cut off the bottom, which can be quite annoying. Websites can look really strange, and there are a bunch of little things like this. Speaking of websites, if you have dark mode enabled and you're looking at a lot of white text on really dark backgrounds, you can run into issues here as well. On a lot of ultra-wides like this that have curved displays, you'll find that they do use VA panels versus something like IPS. VA stands for vertical alignment, and in general they have slow pixel transitions from very dark colors to light, which ends up leading to ghosting or black smearing. In my case, I noticed this as soon as I started scrolling over black backgrounds with white or light text, and while there are some things you can do to alleviate some of these issues, like adjusting overdrive or the black equalizer, it doesn't quite ever fix the problem. Not only that, but the panel doesn't have the greatest viewing angle, so I can move a little bit, whether that be to the left or to the right or up and down, and the picture or the color will change on me a little bit. Obviously not great if you're making any kind of content and you're color grading a video or editing a photo or even doing illustration or UI work. I think if I were to buy another ultra-wide, I'd probably shop for an IPS panel and not a VA. A VA does offer more contrast than an IPS panel, but the viewing angles are much better on an IPS panel. Colors are probably going to be a little bit better on most IPS panels as well. The best VA panels will get to about 90% of the DCI-P3 color space, which this Gigabyte monitor does, but IPS panels will often go between 95 and 98%. So for someone who is looking for the best color, an IPS panel is still the best route. Brightness is a little bit of a wash between the panel types, but there is one thing related to brightness that I find super annoying with this model in particular. On the Gigabyte G34WQC, when you turn up the brightness all the way, it makes this constant hum. It kind of reminds me of a fluorescent light in an office building or something. And not exactly what I was going for in this space. I'm sure for a lot of people, this won't be bothersome at all. It is fairly faint, and I think that if you have any sound on at all, it would quickly drown out that noise. For me personally, I'm usually working on a lot of video prep, doing a lot of product research and writing early in the morning before the rest of the world wakes up. And when I do that, I do find it peaceful just to work in silence at times. And that hum can kind of be a little bit of a mood killer. It does quickly go away if I turn down the brightness, but it's not something that I am particularly fond of. Again, I realize that this isn't a problem with ultra-wides per se, but it is something that I find a minor annoyance, which I think overall is a general theme here. None of these things on their own is really that big of a deal, but when you put them all together, it does start making a pretty big difference. That being said, this is just my experience, and I realize yours might not be the same as mine. If you have a gaming PC and you're able to utilize a full width of this display with this curved panel, I'm sure it would be an immersive and great experience. That's probably the #1 use case for this monitor, as I mentioned earlier, and for a lot of other ultra-wides as well. For productivity though, does it have much of an advantage over a 4K? I'm not really sure that it does. On a 4K monitor, I can still do things like split screen windows if I'm coding and working with video editing software. While you do have less room for things like side-by-side panels, I don't know that I notice much of a difference. I'd personally rather have better overall color, better viewing angles, and higher resolution. Again, everyone is likely to have a slightly different opinion here, so drop a comment down below and let me know if you've had a different experience as it relates to your monitor and what you are using it for. If you have any questions about the Gigabyte monitor that I mentioned or anything else that I did not answer in this video, feel free to ask those as well. I hope you found this useful. If you enjoyed it, strike that like button with everything you have in your heart. If you want to see more videos about tech things, and you think that we could possibly share a fourth cousin twice removed, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next upload.
Listen up, web creators. It's Elementor's birthday sale, and you get 30% off on Elementor's cloud website. The ultimate website builder with hosting included for just $69 a year. Smashing.
Celebrate Elementor's 6th birthday sale with a smashing deal. Get 30% off on Elementor Cloud website, the ultimate all-in-one WordPress solution.
Sweet. Is that Raspberry?
Get your deal now, only from May 24th until June 1st. Elementor.
I took the liberty of washing your sex toy. By the way, this is very small. It could totally get lost up there, so you might want to think about, moving on up.
Well, that's an eraser, so that's not going to go up there.
Anything's possible.
Look, there is one piece of gaming gear on my desk that has lasted longer than any other piece of gaming gear, and it's my SteelSeries Arctis Pro wireless headset. I can't replace it. Like, I have been using the same exact headset for 4 years, and not a single headset has come out since then that is better than it. Like, it just has features. Let's just say I'm not willing to lose them, and no other headset has them. For example, the hot swappable battery, so you always have a charged headset no matter what. Or that the base station transmitter box can connect to interfaces like a Go XLR or Wave XLR or Beacon mic because it has a line-in input built into it. Or, and the big one for me lately, is the simultaneous 2.4 gigahertz and Bluetooth connections, meaning I can connect to my PC and my phone at the same time. And all the new parents out there with baby monitors on their phone like me, you know that losing that would be a deal breaker. And that's just to name a few, because that there are some other gaming headsets with some of those features on it. But there are 0 other gaming headsets with all of those features on it. Like, there's a reason it's won best gaming headset of the year. It's just because it's completely unmatched. But today, SteelSeries sent me this. They are brand new headsets. So the thing about this is, like, obviously, unless they screwed up real bad, it's obviously gonna replace my current SteelSeries headset. The thing is, they added 2 massive new features, which might make it replace my AirPods Max as my regular headsets. So I'm excited. Let's jump into it. So look, they sent this to me yesterday, which, for me it's today. For you watching this is yesterday. You're watching this on the 24th. It is, it's 1:40 a.m. on the 24th. They sent this to me. Whoa, what is that? Hey, so want to hear something really sad? I accidentally shot that top-down footage in Blackmagic RAW instead of ProRes, so it was basically uneditable. And so, in order to fix this, I installed a Final Cut extension from a company called Color Finale that allows you to transcode BRAW into ProRes. Unfortunately, that took about 12 hours, and when it was done, there was a fat watermark on my footage. I went through the entire terms of service of the 7-day free trial. I looked all over their website. There is 0 warning that at the end of this 12 hours, they're gonna ruin your footage. So it is what it is. Enjoy the watermark. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna consider it an advertisement to not use Color Finale stuff until they get rid of that, because that's not okay. Anyway, back to the video. It's gonna be a little bit of a rough night. Luckily, we've been using their previous high-end headset for 4 years now, so we can use that as a baseline, because I know I loved that one. We have a first edition plaque. We got some cards here. They have some codes on the back, so I'm not gonna be turning those around. And this booklet. You are a god now, so do what gods do. Play. Gosh. Let's pull this thing out. We are 6 hours until this goes live, and I haven't even opened it yet. What do I I do with this when I'm done? Keep it and store stuff in it? It's a really nice box. I don't know what it is with Xbox not being easily supported by headsets, because every one of these I see, like, you have a PC and PS4 version, and then you also have an Xbox version, which is weird because you'd think PC and Xbox, they're both Microsoft. I don't know. By the way, I'll be putting a link to this as soon as it's available on Amazon in the link down below. That is an affiliate link, so thank you. By the way, if you click on that, it helps out the channel. Appreciate it. What is this? We got a cable and the extra battery. These batteries are tiny. The last batteries were 2 to 3 times larger than this thing. All right, moment of truth. Oh, let's open up the game DAC first. Let's leave the big moment for last. Here we go. All right, new game DAC. Much, I'd say it's about the same size. A little bit of a sleeker front. I like the bigger button. USB 1 and USB 2, a line in and a line out. What are USB 1 and 2 for? USB 1 goes into PC. Oh, it's the same. They're both just USB inputs. It did say on the feature set that you could switch back and forth between 2 different inputs, which is really cool. I wonder if you can do one of the inputs and line in at the same time, because that would be a game changer. Then this little battery, so battery just slides in like that. And this one charges while the other one's in your handset. Like, I feel like it'd be so easy with how big of corners companies cut nowadays to be like, oh, hey, look, you can charge one battery while you're using the other. Second battery comes separate. Oh, they give you both.
This is a story about a magical place where everything's amazing, especially the people. We can tell you everything there is to know about over 400,000 different pieces of gear. Tell them, Lenny.
And we have a 17 millimeter, 24 millimeter, 45.
All right, let's take a look at this. This is a very different feel than the last one. The leather feels much more premium. I love these metallic. I don't think they're actually metal. It's definitely plastic, but I love the metallic look to these. And then USB cable under there. Wonder what that's for. And this side is the battery. That's where you swap it out on the left side. The right side, I was holding it backwards. Oh, these are comfy. They're now extendable. You have the volume rocker here, which is nice. It's out of the way. I kept bumping it on my other ones when I'd put them on, and so I have to like constantly check to make sure it's turned up. That's taken care of. You got the microphone turned on and off. You got power there. You've got Bluetooth on this side. And then another nice touch, you have the microphone here, which now fits flush. Again, like one of the 2 features I mentioned that might make this like a regular headset for me and replace my AirPods is they look like just nice, regular headphones. They don't look like giant, beefy headphones. Should I grab the other ones to compare? Let me grab them real quick. I want to show you. As I say that and put them next to each other, there's not a huge difference in size. I think it's just, and by the way, I love these headphones, but I think it's just the blocky style of them that make them look so much bigger with these kind of smaller circular bevels. It like shrinks down like the perceived size a little bit. And versus like a felt or a mesh headset, these are like leather. So I don't know if you like leather. I'll have to see if they get like hot and sweaty. What do you guys think? Stylish enough for everyday use. Now, they didn't send me a price, and by the time I realized it, offices were closed for the day. So when this goes up in about 6 hours, hopefully, I'm going to take a look at what the prices are, and I'm going to put it in the pinned comment down below. So while you're down there checking that out and seeing what the price is, go ahead and leave a comment of your own headset opinion. Or, if you don't have a headset opinion, just leave your favorite emoji and help out by adding some engagement to this video and helping out the channel. Thank you. Oh, and then also while you're down there, just hit the like button. So, appreciate you. Thanks. Now, I've got the feature list here. There are a couple features that I absolutely have to try that make this different. Oh my gosh, the strap feels way nicer too. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted there. A couple features that I have to try. First one being, these are active noise canceling headphones. So I want to try this side by side with my AirPods Max and see how that actually sounds, because that's feature number 2 that might make me replace those for day-to-day use, maybe going to the gym or something. Their new software is something I'm gonna have to take a look at. And then it says 360 degrees spatial audio. And they kind of take point to say that this isn't just a stereo signal that's been widened with things like reverb and whatever, which is apparently pretty typical when it comes to like spatial audio, but it's actually a 5.1 or 7.1 surround sound track that is algorithmed. That's not a verb. We're going to make it a verb. Algorithmed into headset audio. I've never used spatial audio because I generally just go out of the headset jack of my interface into the back of the DAC here. But if I can do line in and USB at the same time, I can send my voice and chat and everything into here and then just have my game audio go straight into USB and try direct digital spatial audio. This could be really dope. Let's plug it in and take a listen. All right, PC's all ready. Let's plug this thing in. I got a game installed, of which I know the sound very well. So let's try that first. Let's see how these things sound. You know what? Why don't we pull up Streambeats, you know? If we're gonna listen to something, let's listen to something good. Oh, you don't know what Streambeats is? Well, while I'm pulling it up, why don't I tell you? Streambeats is the #1 source of copyright-free, DMCA-free music for Twitch streamers and YouTubers. It's all completely free. It's on Spotify, on Apple Music. There are over 1,500 tracks and 16 genres. Really anything you're looking for music in your streams or in your YouTube videos, it's there. And you can download them for free at streambeats.com. It's really convenient that this is taking forever to load because I got to give you the whole spiel. Yeah, use Streambeats in your video. Totally free. There you go. Let's pull up the Groove album because I know this one really well. So far sounds good to me. I think this sounds a lot better than the last one.
Maybe remember that Streambeats in my videos.
I'm just hearing a lot more detail in the highs. This sounds good though. It is either equal or better to the previous model, and I really enjoy the Arctis Pro Wireless. Yeah, detail is crisp. Music sounded good. Very happy with that. Let's try plugging in a mic. This is the Beacon mic. We're gonna go out of the headphone jack on the back and into the line in, and let's see if we can get the audio from this and from the game at the same time. Because if that's the case, and I can get awesome surround sound like 7.1 or 5.1, but then also hear my mic and to have all the mixing capabilities that this brings, that's gonna be kind of a game changer. How about now? Oh. Well, there we go. This and game. This and game. There seems to be more than normal latency though. The last headset had considerably lower latency check. Yo, check. So good news and bad news with this. The way I had my base station set up on my last setup was I would mix everything on my Beacon or my Go XLR, or whatever my interface was at the time, mix everything in there, go out of the headphone jack into the line in on the base station, and basically this thing now works as just a super fancy wireless transmitter to my headset. There was for sure a tiny bit of latency, but nothing noticeable. I'm gonna have to mess around with it a little bit more, but so far it looks like there is a little bit more latency on this model than the last one. I'm not sure exactly why. It's still the 2.4 gigahertz, but it's probably not something I'm gonna be able to discover for sure before I finish filming this video, because you know, it's 3 and this is going up in 5 hours. But as I figure these things out, test them out a little bit more, jump into my live stream. I stream on my personal YouTube channel, youtube.com/HarrisHeller, and I'll talk about it more during the live stream. You can ask some questions in there, so maybe follow up on some of these things. It's not like a delay where it throws you off and it does like the speech jammer thing, but it is enough to be annoying. Like if you like hearing your voice back in your headset like I do, so far this is kind of a problem. Yo, check. Whoa, what happened? Since the last time I talked into this, the latency has gone down. Has it? Or did it just get quieter? I can't tell. Let me turn it up a little bit. Yo, check. Because it now feels like, it still feels like there's a tiny bit more delay. Again, not enough, like it's still not messing up my speech. I'll probably, if I use this system, I'll probably have to turn down the mic monitor a little bit and get used to that. Because there is a little bit of a delay. And that's gonna drive me nuts. Let's check out the noise cancellation next though. All right, noise cancellation, it says to turn it on, you just press the power button once, which I think is on this side. Yeah. No, oh. Oh wow. And then you go into transparency mode. So this is a lot like AirPods actually. You have it on, you have it off, and you have transparency mode. You double tap it. Yeah, transparency mode doesn't feel as transparent as the AirPods Max, but active noise canceling is very good. I've always been a little nervous to game with noise canceling on because it does kind of adjust the sound. Let's give it a shot. That's pretty good. That actually sounds really natural. Oh, that's solid all around. Yeah, I'm very happy with that experience. And last thing I really wanted to check here is their software. Most importantly, the spatial audio. It looks like they've been upping their game on their software, which makes me very, very happy because I feel like a lot of gaming software, especially for peripherals, is pretty weak. I'm looking at you, Logitech G Hub, but let's turn on spatial audio. Tuning's towards performance, which looks like it focuses on directionality and localization, and then immersion, which improves the environmental effects. So let's turn it all the way towards performance. We got some explosions going on in the background, but I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of hard to tell without anyone shooting at you or listening to footsteps, you know? I mean, it sounds great. I'm not complaining about it. But it might have to be something I try out over the course of a couple weeks and keep you guys updated as I mess around with it and try it with it off and with it on. What happens if we turn it towards immersion? Oh, that's very different. That's immersion sounds more like that super widened stereo. There's just so much more depth. My footsteps sounded like they were 8 feet below me. So that would be another thing to jump into my live stream for and follow up in about a week or so when I've had more time with this and see how things are going there. And I mentioned there's one problem with this that's gonna drive me nuts. And that is that the top isn't flat. Because I mount mine under my desk. I like to keep as few things on the top of my desk as I can, and I don't mess with the controls on here because I use like an actual interface or like the whole beacon setup. So I just mount this under my desk and stick it to my desk, but I can't do that with this little bump. I'll just have to use extra 3M strips there and problem solved. Overall, very excited to try this at my setup, excited to try it in game with the new surround sound features, excited to try it at the gym and see how it feels, see if it doesn't get too sweaty, see how the noise canceling works, you know, compared to my AirPods. Lots of things to follow up on and really spend a couple weeks messing around with. But so far, it seems like the previous Arctis Pro Wireless with nothing but little things added to it and upgraded and moved forward. So that's a win in my book. I guess it just depends on where they decide to price it. Let me know what you think about the headset in the comments down below. And if you're still watching the video and you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so. You obviously like the video because you're still here. I'll see you around over in my next live stream on my personal channel. And as always, happy streaming.
My business is mid-century modern style furniture. My business finances are mid-century, not so modern.
Get a complete view of your business.
Hello and welcome to Wednesday Newsday, your #1 resource for the entire week's worth of VR news. This time recorded at the Augmented World Expo. More on that in just a moment. But this week is actually really wild. Pimax just revealed probably one of the craziest VR headsets I've seen yet, but I'm really skeptical, and for good reason. Valve loses its brain-computer interface deal, straight up Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 may be coming soon to VR, and the long-awaited Apple XR device may be revealed within a week, likely shaking up the entire industry if it does. All that and so much more. This is a super exciting and jam-packed episode, so let's just get right into the news. Today, we're gonna start off with the least exciting of all the news. There's actually a lot of stuff going on with Meta right now. First off, Meta was recently sued by a smaller company named Immersion Corporation for allegedly infringing on not 1, not 2, but 6 patents regarding technology present on the Quest 2. Most of these patents are related to the haptic technology within the Quest controllers, and some of the patent language is a little sus. Immersion Corp claiming that basic haptic feedback enhancing interactivity is their patent, but for a lot of sites, I guess this does make a pretty good headline saying that Meta stole this technology. technology. But lawsuits like these are honestly pretty common within the tech industry. However, on the more visually stimulating spectrum of meta news, Reality Labs and Kent State recently demonstrated a really interesting breakthrough in VR display technology, and it has to do something with the VAC, or Vergence Accommodation Conflict. To give some background, you may not notice this now, but when you're looking into any VR headset, your immersion will inherently be limited due to a simple factor. In physical reality, light comes from all sorts of distances: the sun through the atmosphere, the screen in front of your face, the lights over your head, and built into your eyes is something called an accommodation reflex. This reflex is what biologically and naturally determines depth. And there's a big problem with modern VR that can lead to all sorts of problems: eye strain, a lack of realism and immersion, blurriness in nearby images. And it's because in a VR headset, all light comes from a single source, the displays, which are usually only a couple of inches away from your eyes, obviously completely throwing off your accommodation reflex. So the solution Meta has proposed actually contradicts a lot of current trends in VR. Instead of going smaller with lens and headset design, they instead went larger, opting for a bigger lens design with something called a dynamic focus liquid crystal lens. By changing the voltages of the liquid crystal element, the focal plane, or to put basically the light focus distance, is adjusted, essentially solving this problem and giving light certain depth, which is amazing. Not quite ready to be stuffed into a headset, but still really exciting. And there are still a lot of hurdles before these liquid crystal displays can be practical, like size, image clarity, mass production constraints, but it does seem like one of the cheapest ways to solve the Vergence accommodation conflict, bringing far more realistic VR to far more people in a cheaper way than holographic displays, which do something similar. And PC VR may be coming back bigger than ever, and very soon to way more people. I've been a big believer in cloud computing for VR applications for a long time. It solves so many of the problems with the VR industry over the past few years. With the explosion of less powerful standalone VR headsets, a lot of developers have shifted to making smaller scale mobile games for the Quest platform, rather than the big blockbuster titles that we really want out of VR. I mean, compare 2019's game releases when PC VR was the main focus of developers. Some of the best looking and playing VR games ever released back then, and since we've kind of stagnated, the entire industry has just shifted to standalone. And not saying these games and applications are bad, but they're far closer to mobile software. And that's where cloud computing comes in. And recently, it's popped up that Meta is working on something called Avalanche, a cloud-based Airlink allowing for PC VR games to be streamed. One user claiming that they played Asgard's Wrath, an Oculus PC VR exclusive, over a Wi-Fi connection, and no PC. But better proof that Meta is actually working on this is other cloud services being blocked from the Oculus Store. Think about it this way: Your is a fitness tracker app that was broken and blocked by Facebook. Months later, Facebook released their own fitness tracker app for Quest. Virtual Desktop, an app built to allow wireless Wi-Fi streaming from a PC, blocked and broken months before Oculus released Airlink, something that does the exact same thing. And currently, Pluto Sphere is essentially blocked from the Oculus Store, sideload only. And guess what? Pluto Sphere is a cloud-based PC VR streaming surface. Meta just doesn't like rivals to their own solutions. But regardless, cloud VR streaming is on its way, and already here in some ways. Of course, a lot of things will have to be improved, like latency, general public internet connections, video stream compression, but apps like Pluto Sphere already do a pretty good job. So I'm excited to see eventually a complete revitalization of PC quality titles being developed due to this. But now on to the Pimax news. This company is kind of doing some weird stuff, and I'm honestly really split on how I feel about it. On one side, Pimax has been announcing the craziest VR hardware that I could possibly dream of using. On the other side, Pimax has a very questionable reputation, taking years to deliver on their original flagship headset, the AKX. Their announcements lately have been really cheesy and cringeworthy and kind of over the top and stretching marketing numbers, and they're promising so much that it's almost hard to believe. But let me just get into the details and context. Earlier this year, Pimax announced they would be releasing the actually insane Pimax 12K Reality QLED. featuring some of the craziest feature sets I've ever seen in a VR headset. The company obviously targeting the hardest core of hardcore enthusiasts. Let me just rattle off some of these specs. A resolution of 5760 by 3240 per eye, 200 Hz refresh rate, 240 degree field of view, eye tracking, face tracking, full body tracking, interchangeable faceplates for inside out or base station tracking or mixed reality, XR2 processor for standalone VR games with PC VR compatibility, and a 60 GHz WiGig wireless PC VR module, all for $2,400, and that wasn't even all of it. And I'll talk about that more in a second, but just yesterday, Pimax announced yet another VR headset with equally insane specifications. The Pimax Crystal, with yet another equally pat myself on the back kind of cringe-worthy press release. And this new headset is just as crazy as the unreleased 12K, but for a slightly different audience, called the Crystal because its optics are apparently crystal clear, offering an industry-leading pixel per degree measurement of 42 ppd. And to give some reference, the Index only has a ppd of 14, so this is a massive leap to say the least. The Crystal is also going to have a lot of the same features as the 12K QLED. Swappable faceplates, eye tracking, a standalone XR2 processor, as well as a PC VR wired and wireless capability, yet with a lowered resolution of 2880 by 2880 per eye and a maximum refresh rate of 160 Hz, as well as a limited field of view of 110 to 125 degrees depending on the lenses that you choose. And this is where the Crystal gets funky. This would be the first VR headset ever to have swappable lenses depending on what you prioritize, clarity or field of view. And even more important, the lenses are glass aspheric lenses rather than the typical Fresnel lenses that we're used to. And those are the same style that Vario use in their cutting edge and super clear Aero and XR3. It's kind of part of how they do it. The Crystal is set to launch in Q3 of this year for $1,899. Still very expensive and a hard sell for even the most dedicated of VR enthusiasts. And like I said, I'm really stumped. If the Crystal and 12K QLED are real and deliver on everything that they promise here, these will actually be the best VR headsets available, like hands down. Doesn't matter if you're talking consumer, prosumer, enterprise, hands down on paper, these would be the best. But with Pimax's past and these really weird presentations and the insane specifications, it's kind of hard for me to fully believe that this is actually going to happen without seeing it in person for myself. And to make it worse, Pimax promised a public demo at CES earlier this year for the 12K, and they straight up no-showed because they were waiting on parts or something. And they're also not going to be at AWE this week, kind of, the place where you show these things off. So, look, I actually really like Pimax headsets. I enjoyed the 5K Super enough that I nearly swapped out my Index for it. And I'm about to make a video on the current flagship AKX, which is another good headset. But the claims about the newest devices are crazy enough that I gotta see it for myself before hyping it up. But I will also say, if Pimax does pull this off exactly as they say they will, Pimax will cement itself as the best headset available. But we'll have to see. And I'm gonna keep trying my absolute hardest to get that 12K and Crystal demo just to show everybody, including myself, if this thing's actually real. Believe me, I'm trying. But now it's time for a meme break! And now back to the news. So, we're about to head into leak territory, so definitely don't get too hyped. But multiple sources, including PSVR Without Parole, have recently leaked Sony's next mini press release, the State of Play Rundown. And on that list were some of Sony's supposed launch titles for the upcoming PSVR 2, set to release in the first quarter of 2023. And well, one of those titles was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 plus PSVR 2 support, which, if true, would be pretty insane. I can just imagine 360 no-scoping with an intervention, but in VR. However, this specific image leak seems to be mostly confirmed as fake and doctored. But that didn't stop other news sources from claiming that they know that some sort of VR component of Modern Warfare 2 is coming to the PSVR 2 exclusively, either at the launch of the headset or at a later date. Doesn't matter which way you look at it, I'm definitely hoping for it, but at the very least, we are getting a bunch of new PSVR announcements at this State of Play on the 2nd of June. So cross your fingers that they're good titles. And a little more credence to the leaks that Infinity Ward are making Modern Warfare 2 for VR, or some part of Modern Warfare 2 for VR, is that they've actually had VR support for a previous Call of Duty game. Infinite Warfare did have a VR component, but it was a little closer to an interactive tech demo than a full game. So the studio has certainly dipped its toes into VR development at the very least. And now onto the weird hype train that is WWDC. It seems like literally every single Apple event, somebody goes wild claiming this is the one where Apple announces its AR/VR device. And every single time they've obviously been wrong. But this upcoming WWDC taking place in only a few days could potentially be a little different. Let's start from the top. For nearly 5 years now, we've known Apple has been developing something called Reality OS. Insider reports claiming this is the operating system built specifically for some sort of XR device. And this has been further confirmed by code found in Apple's repository, referencing Reality OS many times. But it gets even deeper. A shell company Apple uses to trademark macOS updates, named Yosemite Research LLC, and another shell company, Reality O Systems LLC, are registered to the same address. And Reality O Systems has a trademark filing for something called Reality OS. And that trademark expires only 2 days after this upcoming WWDC. It's also been reported that Apple's AR/VR device was recently shown within the past month or so to Apple's board of directors as well, with supply chains secretly amping up with occasional specification leaks. Basically, if there was a time to possibly maybe expect a real announcement for an Apple headset, this WWDC is likely it, or at least for some part of it. And I don't think I've really said that before. But I've also watched people get hyped for the past 3 years to be disappointed, so we very likely could see nothing at all. Either way, I'll be watching because regardless of your opinion on Apple, their entrance into the XR industry will make some very big waves. And there are also some far less credible leaks like these air clips, a supposed control mechanism for this XR device that allow for the most tactile hand tracking possible, capable of pressure sensitivity, positional and splay tracking, slight haptics, but it's a little more out there. Still interesting though. But now it's time for Question of the Week from Tabular Joker. Where do you see Meta in the next 10 years? Do you see them falling off and becoming a thing of the past due to their lack of funding, or do you see them sticking around for the foreseeable future? Honestly, I see Meta sticking around for a long time in the XR industry. At this point, they're so far down the metaverse rabbit hole that they'd probably just as likely ditch Facebook before they ditch their XR endeavors. Where I honestly see them is being one of the largest Western metaverse companies competing directly against the ever-growing yet ideologically completely different Chinese state metaverse companies. And I'd actually like to dive way deeper in this into a full video because this situation has been ramping up for the past few years and it's getting hot. But that's it for Question of the Week. Leave yours down below and I may just answer yours next. Like I said, I'm at AWE right now, an XR industry conference attending with Qualcomm, so I'll definitely be making some awesome content directly from the event soon, so stay posted. I just want to say thank you to all of my Patreon supporters, especially my Omegas, for making all of this possible. I couldn't do any of this without you. Definitely join up in my Discord server. There's lots of fun stuff there, and I'll be updating you guys all week on what's going on here at AWE. But don't forget to like this video if you loved it, subscribe if you want more of this, and hit that freaking bell if you just can't live without it. Much love, Thrill out. But that's it for Question of the Week. Leave yours down below and I may just answer yours next. Like I said, I'm at AWE right now, an XR industry conference attending with Qualcomm, so I'll definitely be making some awesome content directly from the event soon, so stay posted. I just want to say thank you to all of my Patreon supporters, especially my Omegas, for making all of this possible. I couldn't do any of this without you. Definitely join up in my Discord server. There's lots of fun stuff there, and I'll be updating you guys all week on what's going on here at AWE. But don't forget to like this video if you loved it, subscribe if you want more of this.
Okay, so it's that window. It's not necessarily that frame. Or that, ooh, what's that? That's cool looking. Screen. So I have 3 screens, so I wasn't sure.
The Google Career Certificate changed my life. Being able to connect with employers through the platform was the support that I needed. I made a full career pivot to UX design.
What's up guys, Alex here from Zbeck. Today I'm excited to show you our newest product, the Zbeck Tri-Screen 2. is a laptop attachment that has 2 additional screens to any laptop, instantly boosting your productivity and giving you a
Let's hope those terraformers don't wake up before I finish the job, so I can pick you all up. Assuming you find Agent Sienna. And she's still alive.
Alright, first of all we have Hubris, this VR shooter at its core and with an episodic structure. Actually the first episode of which, come to mention after years of anticipation, came out way no more than only a few months ago, and has been sitting on Steam for free ever since. Frankly, there's not really much to talk about with Hubris as of this moment, other than the fact that the game's visually really nice, and that the game in its full is set to be coming our way in only a few months from now, so keep it in mind.
Remember, recruit, you're part of the Triple O now. Under the wings of the mightiest fleet the galaxy has ever seen. But here, within the Twin Planet system, you're on your own.
This has actually been a long time coming. However, a brand new teaser trailer for Pirate VR Jolly Roger just came our way, and we're supposedly in for the official release date of this game in the following months. Now, for those of you new here, well, Pirates VR Jolly Roger is described by its developers as a linear, story-driven virtual reality game, obviously, and set on this mysterious island somewhere in the Caribbean. So check it out, make sure to stay tuned for that precise release date.
Nothing on Steam or Oculus One. Half-Life Alyx Pirates version.
Coming up at number 3, we have Bone Lab. See, Bone Lab is on its way to Quest 2 and PC VR. It is, of course, the follow-up to the popular virtual reality game Boneworks. The new game, however, is set to include a brand new story, and the gameplay of which seems to be almost identical to the first game. Bone Lab's set to be releasing in just a few months from now, and here we have some actual new gameplay from earlier this week.
Wrap it up here in a minute. Down the road. Sure, it's fun. Like, there's been enough people that have liked it, but it's not really on my list.
Moving on, we have Zenith, The Last City. Actually, an MMO game or project as of this moment that was only funded through Kickstarter. See, Zenith was actually planned for an early 2022 release. It is now sitting on Steam with mixed to positive reviews. Why? It's a pretty basic kind of MMO, but one that's actually mixed with a hefty amount of innovation when it comes to virtual reality controls. Lots of potential there, definitely could use more work, and this is how it actually looks like.
Haven't made out the lobby on this one.
Listen up, web creators. It's Elementor's birthday sale, so you get up to 60% off on select pro plans. But you know, it's not really a birthday without cake, so cake, I'm ready. Smashing!
Celebrate Elementor's 6th birthday sale with smashing deals. Get up to 60% off on select pro plans for the ultimate WordPress website builder.
Sweet. Is that raspberry?
Get your deal now, only from May 24th until June 1st. Elementor.
Paradox of Hope, on the other hand, is a single-player virtual reality shooter with survival and horror elements, or well, so it's described by its developers. A story-driven game, and it seems to be taking quite a bit of inspiration from games like Metro. But once again, frankly, not much to talk about with this one as well. All we know is that Paradox of Hope, besides the gameplay trailer here, is on its way to PCs and VR headsets soon, possibly even in the next couple of months, so keep it in mind.
Yeah. どうもー。はじめまして。君が今日からデビューする魔法使いだね。
Alright, we just got ourselves a new gameplay trailer for Runes Magus. But what some of you might have been familiar with from earlier to be a VR fantasy exploration-based action RPG. It is a good game. There's a problem though. Up until a couple of weeks ago, there was this Kickstarter campaign that was held for the game. Well, the campaign just failed, and if we are lucky, I would guess, it'll somehow go through a second phase. Well, check it out, and for further details, go and visit Runes Magus. Kickstarter here.
今日は本当にお疲れ様。
Guys, Moving on, we have Hellsweeper VR. What is best?
I have to watch that one sometime. Watch it later. Right now, I need to wrap it up and get out of here. Well, at least that thing is still running, hasn't crashed, so I guess that's a good thing. All right. Decent amount of stuff done today. But what I should actually do, since that over there being a smaller resolution doesn't really do much for quality, I'm going to switch it to match the other screens. Right, crash the camera. Maybe. Let's see when it shows up. I think the stream is still going. Yeah, the stream is still going. Didn't crash the camera, which I kind of expected. Whoops. Let me open that. Open this. Close the camera, reopen the camera, and it's back. Okay. I'm going to be really daring and change the resolution, change this one over here to be landscape instead of portrait. It messes up every time.